Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking what is usually a highly technical, slightly painful 11-step deployment guide and completely transforming it. We're going to build a foolproof strategy for packaging and deploying SQL Server Management Studio right through Intune.
Because let's be honest, the big question is always this: how do you deploy SSMS flawlessly without disrupting a single user? That's the holy grail for endpoint admins, right? Because we all know that just one wrong switch means unexpected UI prompts popping up, followed immediately by a literal flood of help desk tickets. We want silent, seamless success.
So here is our game plan for today. We'll start with packaging the installer, uploading it to Intune, configuring the behavior, assigning and monitoring the deployment, running through some troubleshooting, and wrapping up with enterprise best practices. Basically, we're shifting from our local dress rehearsal straight through to our enterprise opening night. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, packaging the SSMS installer, which I like to call the crucial dress rehearsal. Listen, this phase is where 90% of your deployment success is actually determined. Before you even think about touching the cloud, you've got to stage the EXE locally. Step 1. Just download the latest SSMS installer directly from Microsoft. Step 2. Create a totally clean working folder for it. And Step 3, this is the really important part, figure out your silent install and uninstall commands. SSMS completely supports silent installation, but you absolutely need the exact parameters for the specific release you're working with.
Now that brings us to a really key definition, the .IntuneWin file. If you haven't used it much, this is a specific package format generated by the Microsoft Win32 Content Prep tool, and it's used to deploy Win32.exe applications through Intune. To bridge the gap between that local exe file we just staged and the Intune Admin Center, we have to convert it into this specialized container.
So how do we actually do that? It's a quick three-step process. First, download and extract that Win32 Content Prep tool. Second, fire up your command prompt or PowerShell. And third, run the tool, point it to your source folder, and generate that .IntuneWin file. Running this prep tool builds the exact package container that Intune needs to distribute the software out to your endpoints.
But okay, before we move on, I need you to practically burn this rule into your memory. Always validate locally first. You need to verify there are absolutely no UI prompts and that your exit code equals 0. This is crucial. Perform a silent install test on a local machine to guarantee a flawless dress rehearsal before you upload a single byte. You want to make absolutely sure it installs with 0 interruptions.
All right, moving to Section 2, uploading to Microsoft Intune. Time to take it to the cloud.
With our verified package in hand, we are officially transitioning to opening night in the Intune Admin Center. The upload process itself is a breeze. Just navigate to Windows Apps, select Add, and upload that .IntuneWin file you just baked. The heavy lifting of the package creation is completely done at this point.
Next up, we build out our app information. This establishes exactly how SSMS is going to present itself to your end users in the company portal. You'll set the name to SQL Server Management Studio, the publisher to Microsoft, and the category to Database Tools. Oh, and crucially, make sure you set Show in Company Portal to Yes. You definitely want your users to actually be able to find the thing, right?
Which brings us to Section 3, configuring detection and behavior. This is all about ensuring seamless execution.
Now, we have to instruct Intune on how to detect if SSMS is already installed. And I want to point out the absolute precision required here for your detection rule. You're using a file rule type. You must target the exact ProgramFiles path, specifically that Common7 IDE folder, and target SSMS.exe. You have to be super precise with this, otherwise Intune gets confused and might falsely trigger endless, silent background reinstallations. We definitely don't want that.
After detection, we hit the program configuration. You need to configure whether this installs in the system or user context. That's your install behavior. Furthermore, you have got to strictly manage the device restart behavior. Imagine a midday database deployment randomly rebooting a developer's machine while they are deep in their workflow. No thanks. So we control those reboots strictly based on return codes.
All right, Section 4, assigning and monitoring deployment. We are going live. Please, for the love of IT, do not push this to everyone all at once. Always execute a phased rollout. Step 1, assign it to a pilot device group. Step 2, deploy it to test users. And finally, Step 3, roll out to your production devices. You want your pilot groups to validate the deployment as required or available long before hitting the entire production floor.
It just drastically limits your blast radius if something weird happens.
Once you've assigned it, head over to the Deployment Overview in Intune to monitor 4 critical status markers in real time. You will see exactly how many devices are installed, failed, pending, or not applicable. Think of this dashboard as your central command center for the entire rollout.
Next up is Section 5, Troubleshooting Common Issues, because you always need a plan for solving the unexpected.
Even with a totally flawless dress rehearsal, opening night can still bring surprises. So here are the usual suspects. If the app is stuck downloading, it's probably an IME issue. Just restart the Intune Management Extension service. Install fails, you probably got the silent switch wrong, so test it locally again. Detection failed, update your path rule. And if a user actually sees UI prompts, you definitely missed the /quiet parameter. Keep this cheat sheet handy for rapid fixes.
But look, sometimes the Intune console just doesn't give you enough detail. When that happens, you have to dig into these 3 client-side Intune Management Extension logs to find the exact point of failure. The Intune Management Extension log covers the overall app processing. The Agent Executor log monitors your script execution, and the App Action Processor log tracks the specific installation actions. Dive into these logs, and the truth will absolutely be revealed.
Finally, Section 6, Enterprise Best Practices. Let's talk about scaling for the future.
Once you've mastered the basics, you can implement some advanced tactics, using supersedents for smooth upgrades, defining dependency apps like the SQL native client, or using scripts for detection by registry and version. These take your deployment to the next level. Add in delivery optimization, Azure CDN integration, proactive remediation, company portal branding, and dynamic device assignments, and you are guaranteeing maximum efficiency at scale. That is how you truly future-proof your endpoint management.
So armed with all these techniques, it's time to ask yourself, is your Intune environment truly ready for an enterprise-grade deployment? Are you still just relying on hope, or are you executing flawless, zero-disruption rollouts? If you stage your dress rehearsals and follow these steps, mastering your opening nights becomes second nature. The ultimate silent deployment is entirely in your hands. Now, what are you going to deploy next?